seeing me for a while.
No, I miss you. Miss everybody.
That's my gift to you, not seeing me for a while.
No, come on.
You want for Thanksgiving, kid? You going anywhere or my family over?
I'm going to Vegas for Thanksgiving.
Are you really?
Yeah,
With family or just?
just myself.
Yeah.
My dad passed away back in March, so
That's
like
right.
my first, my first holiday with them. My mom and I had so like
Okay.
decided how we agreed to
Sure.
I
Right.
only go home for Christmas.
Okay.
But I figured for this I would
Yeah. Just gonna hit like a big buffet or something.
I
Like a
don't know,
nice steak.
figure out what places are open.
All right. You gonna do any gambling while you're there?
Sure, a little bit.
Yeah.
There will be some money gambling. Hopefully
I
some money.
get
Hopefully
a little
some money
leery
won.
of that. Yeah. We went for our honeymoon back in the day. We went for like 2 days. We broke even, and I was like,
Hey, that's a win.
that's good. No, because we had the entertainment of playing over the 2 days, but didn't lose. No.
So 3 people have joined late on the waiting list. That's what happened.
My name on that one, right?
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Motor City Casino Hotel Tiger Club at Comerica Park. We appreciate all of you joining us for this very exciting day. To begin, I'd like to introduce the gentlemen on the dais. We're joined today by Detroit Tigers Chairman and CEO Christopher Ilitch, Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations and General Manager Al Avila, Manager AJ Hinch, and left-handed pitcher Eduardo Rodríguez. Additionally, we have some special guests joining us this afternoon. We'd like to welcome Eduardo's family to Detroit, including his wife, Catherine, his children, Annie and Ian, and his niece, Dubraska. At this time, we'd like to present them with a small token of appreciation and officially welcome them to the Tigers family. We'd also like to welcome Eduardo's agent, Gene Motto, to Detroit.
Where does his flowers?
Also joining us today are Senior Vice President, Chief Marketing Officer Emily Neenan, Vice President, Assistant General Manager Sam Minzen, Senior Counsel, Baseball Operations Alan Avila. At this time, I'll turn things over to Al Avila for some opening remarks.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for being here on this very exciting day. As I mentioned on this very stage, at the end of the season, we hope to be back here soon announcing the addition of impact talent to our Major League roster, and today brings just that. And before we get going, I'd like to thank Chris Ilitch for being here and providing the necessary support, not just for this signing, but in multiple ways throughout the baseball operations that's driving our ball club back to a winning franchise. I'd also like to welcome Eduardo's wife, Catherine, Annie, and Ian, right here, and just say how much we're looking forward to many, many years here in Detroit with you and your family. It's going to be a lot of fun. And lastly, I'd like to welcome Eduardo's agent, Gene Matos, who we've had a good working relationship for many years. Gene, if you remember years ago, also represented Annabelle Sanchez. So we have a good, long-lasting relationship here. Welcome, Gene. And afterwards, I'd like to mention that we're obviously very happy here to have Eduardo, represent the Detroit Tigers. It was just shortly right after the World Series, I reached out to Gene, and we started talking about Eduardo being a Detroit Tiger. He expressed interest right away that Detroit was a destination for him for sure. He was very positive, very bullish on Detroit and our organization, as well as AJ. And shortly thereafter, we started talking on a regular basis. And then AJ and I met with Gene and Eduardo, and we hashed this out. So many thanks to Gene, Eduardo for his desire to be a Detroit Tiger, and to AJ here for, quite frankly, helping me do the recruiting, and which we've had a lot of traveling lately together. We've been
No pictures.
We've been coast to coast, all over the place. So anyway, and with that said, again, thanking Chris Ilitch, I'll just turn it over to Chris.
Well, thanks, Al. Well, what an exciting day to be back here again at Comerica Park to welcome Eduardo and his wife, Catherine, and children, Annie and Ian. Welcome, and welcome to the Detroit Tigers family. We're very excited to have you all. You know, Eduardo is going to play a key role in continuing the process towards delivering winning baseball to Tiger fans in the city of Detroit. You know, we had tremendous step forward in the 2021 season, and adding a pitcher the caliber of Eduardo is going to continue the momentum that Al and AJ and our coaching staff and all of our players have going. There's a lot of Tiger talk going on right now, and the fans that I talk to are very excited and energized about the direction of our ball club. So excited to be here today to welcome Eduardo and his family to the Tigers. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Eduardo for his remarks.
Now it's my time.
It's your time.
I mean, first of all, I want to say thank you for, for giving me the opportunity to be here. Alex and Hinch, just for go to Miami, and we had that meeting over there, and you guys see how excited I was to sign with you guys, to be part of this club, you know, to be part of this organization that I know had a lot of history, and they're just hungry to win more championships, and that's what I want to be part of. You know, I want to be part of the championship teams for the next couple of years. You know, like you say, Jim, thank you for the help for make this happen, for make this dream happen to me. Just come to Detroit. My family, my kids, my wife, my daughter, my son. Thank you guys to be here too. This is one of, I feel like, the best day of my life, just have this kind of contract and then have this welcome with all you guys here. It's just, for me, just get here, go to Lakeland, start spring training, get ready for next season, you know, and like I say, do my part to win a championship as much as I can, go out there every 5 days, do the best for give you the opportunity to win some games every time I can, you know, and I can't wait to get to know all my teammates down in Lakeland, and I start knowing all of them, and they know me, and be as a family and be part of that family that you guys already had together, and I just want to be part of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Eduardo. We're now ready to take questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll get a microphone to you. Before asking your question, please identify yourself by saying your name and affiliation. Also, if you're joining us on, also please specify who your question is directed to. Finally, time permitting, we will take a couple of questions from the media joining us today via Zoom. If you are on Zoom and have a question, just please use the chat function and put a note in there. Like I said, time permitting, we'll try to get to as many as possible. We'll start with Chris McCoskey.
Thanks. Chris McCoskey, Detroit News. Welcome to Detroit, Eduardo.
Thank you.
I wonder, contract aside, what were some of the things, because you had a lot of interest in you from other teams, obviously Boston wanted you back. What were some of the things other than the contract that led you and was attracted to you, Detroit?
I will say history. See the fans here. They love the fans here. The baseball they play here. I will say one of the special team was Miggy. I will say that because we're really good friends, and he started explaining me everything about Detroit, about how is everything here and all that, and he gave me a lot with the organization and with the team, you know, and now I like to be part of it.
Thanks, Chris. Matt Shepard.
Matt Shepard, Bally Sports. Welcome and happy holidays to you. Eduardo, from afar, how did you notice Detroit differently last year than maybe 2 seasons ago? And then for Al and AJ, after he's done, what about his makeup on the field and in the clubhouse is most enticing to you guys? Thanks.
Can you say my question again?
Yeah, I'm sorry. From afar, as you watched the Tigers play this past season, how much different were they, and how much did that play a factor into your decision?
I mean, I faced them for the last 6 seasons already. I've been facing, I would say 6 seasons. I've been facing a lot, and I've been seeing the process and the different they've been made. You know what I mean? Year by year, a lot of young guys, a lot of new players, and they start like controlling and growing up until like a championship team, and that's what I want to be part of it. That's why I decided to come here and be part of the growing team that they start making here.
Yeah, so I mean, for us, Eduardo is a huge addition to our rotation. You know, we said early on we had to get the pitching right, and this is a step in that direction. And it's because he's a winner. You know, you just at the bottom line is he's a winner. When he goes out to pitch, he gives his team a chance to win, and which is what you ask every 5 days. So if you look at what he's done, his track record, how he goes about it, his pure stuff, his competitiveness, his durability, his ability to miss bats. He gets soft contact on the ground. Like, there's nothing not to like about him. And so he comes in and immediately improves our rotation that we're really excited about. So once we met with him, and you start to learn a little bit more about the person and a little bit about more what makes him tick, we weren't getting out of that restaurant without landing him. So it was a good marriage, because what he does well is exactly what we preach. You know, what we preach, we feel like we can unlock a few things to make him even better.
Thanks, Shep. Jason Beck.
Eduardo, welcome to Detroit. I was wondering, when you pitched here against the Tigers, I think it was in August, it was right around the time that there was some buzz going around Miguel Cabrera's chase for 500 home runs. What was it like watching that atmosphere, and did that kind of make an impact in your mind as you were trying to think about where you were going to pitch next?
I will say when I pitched here, I think he needed like 2 more homers, something like that, 2 or 3 home runs, and it was funny because it was me and Martin Perez pitching in a back-to-back, and we know like we just stuck to it. And I know we love you, bro, and everything, but this is part of the game. I don't want to be the 500, you know what I mean? But I remember that really clear, that we jogged and we had all those days, you know what I mean? And I pitched the first day, and I told him, you to hit a homer of me, and I just told Martin the next day, good luck, bro. Don't give it to him, you know. So, but what was the other part of the question? Did you say?
Just
first of all, was
that
that right?
atmosphere
And then,
around the ballpark.
Oh,
as
yeah,
you were pitching, did that kind of register with you when at season's end you had to try to figure out?
yeah,
where you
just
wanted to pitch
watching,
next?
and I've been watching postseasons here, playoff. I've been watching a lot when I was in the minor leagues, you know what I mean? And I know how it gets here when you get to the postseason. I've been watching all the time, you know, on TV, especially on TV. And then when Miggy was getting close to the 500, I see the atmosphere here, and I want to be part of it. I want to be part of the postseason here and see all the fans and how they get here.
What will it be like to be a teammate with Miguel at this point, and also, I imagine, have a close-up seat as he gets to 3,000 hits?
I will say it's going to be fun. I will say that.
Thanks, Jason. Evan Petzold.
Yeah, Eduardo, Evan Petzold from the Detroit Free Press. Just how seriously did you consider returning to Boston? How seriously did you consider maybe Toronto? And what was kind of the tipping point that led you, to sign with the Tigers over those teams?
I mean, like I say, I see everything they have here. I see the way they start reconstruct the team, start getting ready for compete for championships, and part of it was, like I say, the history, Miggy, and asking about everything, about the organization and all that, and I want to be on a team where they start going up until they want to be a championship team, and I want to be part of that. I want to be part of the reconstruction and join them and play with them and help them the best I can. So that's why I decided to come to Detroit.
And then question for AJ too. Just what are your expectations for Eduardo as you try to blend him in with the pitchers that you have here now?
Yeah, I mean, we just want him to be himself. I mean, obviously, what he's done speaks for itself. For him to pitch the way he's pitched in the postseason, we got to get to the postseason, and he can help pave that way. But really, it's like I told him in the meeting that we talked about him. If he's, as a leader, as an experienced pitcher, we are going to look to him to show us the way in a lot of ways. In other ways, if he wants to be vocal, be vocal. If he wants to be quiet, be quiet. But take that ball every 5 days and give us as much as you can, as long as you can, and give us a chance to win. So he doesn't have to do anything more than what he's done, up to this point on how he prepares and how he shows up every 5 days ready to pitch. So, but we look for a lot of innings and we look for quality. That's why we signed him.
Thanks, Evan. Larry Lage.
Questions for Chris and Eduardo. Chris, with the labor questions that are out there with baseball, can you talk about your commitment to not take a wait and see approach and invest in a talent? And for Eduardo, how thankful are you that you found a team that was willing to make this kind of commitment with possible work stoppage coming up here shortly?
Well, I think your first question, it's really a credit to Al Avila and his staff. They did a lot of preparation through the month of October to really understand what were the needs of our ball club heading into free agency period in the offseason, as well as what the marketplace was. So they were ready and prepared from day one. And I think that preparation really led to the activity that we saw by our ball club early on in the offseason.
Can you say my question again? I want to hear again.
Just with the labor questions that are in baseball right now, to have a team willing to make this kind of commitment to you, how thankful are you to have it out of the way, while there's still questions about the players and the owners reaching a deal?
I mean, for me, I'm not ready to make a deal. I want to play with Detroit, so I just want to see. I just want to see what happens, and until we play baseball, I'm gonna be ready for play with Detroit. So that's what I think about that. It's just their decisions, but I'm ready to go out there and pitch when we start playing. So we'll see what happens.
Jeff Seidel.
Jeff Seidel from the Free Press. Chris, a few months ago you said that the resources would be there, and you've now signed a catcher and a pitcher. How committed are you to bringing in an elite shortstop?
Well, again, like you said, I've said it multiple times, and you just mentioned it. We'll have all the resources we need as a ball club to ensure we continue to improve and ultimately to be a playoff contenders and World Series champions. That's our goal. And so, Al has had a plan from day one, and he's been executing his plan very, very well. We've invested a lot of resources beginning of this plan off-field, as you know. We've really developed a state-of-the-art analytics team under the direction of Jay Sartori. And we've also invested in our player development system, our facilities, as well as our scouting personnel to go out and find the very best amateur talent out there, bring into our organization. So we will continue to have the resources available to execute our plan toward our goal of ultimately competing toward a World Series championship.
Go back to Chris McCoskey.
Eduardo, I'm sure you have grown tired of answering a question like this, but every time we read about you going back, it's always, he tips his pitches. He's had a problem with tipping his pitches. Is that kind of gained a life of its own? Is that a myth? Or is that something you feel like you've kind of figured out and got under control in the last couple of years?
I mean, I feel like at the beginning of my career, I was tipping a lot, I'll be honest with you. And you can see the difference because sometimes I was throwing a perfect pitch and the guys was just spit on it or make a really good contact of it and all that. But I feel like by the years I've been learning how to control that part, you know what I mean, on the hard way. But I've been learning how to do it, and I feel like I can really fix all that, you know. And even now I know how to, like, sometimes I go out there and play with the hitter's mind, you know, just, oh, he's tipping and I know what he think I'm tipping and I just do it the wrong way or the other way, you know, so. Get swing on the miss on the pitch is right in the middle because he think it's a fastball and it's just a changeup, you know. So he just I learned that way. Somebody told me told me how I'm tipping, and I just go and start playing with the hitter. You know what I mean? And I just do it like that now.
You know, also just pitching in this ballpark. I mean, you had great numbers pitching at Fenway, which, you know, it blows people's minds. You're not supposed to have good numbers like that as a left-hander there. I know you pitched here before, but this has got to be a whole different animal for you to see all that space out there.
I mean, I feel like for me, the way I think is no matter where I pitch, you know, it's no matter where the ballpark where I pitch or all that. For me, just go out there and try to throw 6, 7, or 8 innings every time I go out there. Even if it's the biggest ballpark in the league or the smallest ballpark in the league, you still got to go out there and pitch, you know. So Just go out there, get 3 outs, go out, get out of the inning, and go back to the dugout, go out there, 3 more outs, and that's it. No matter where you pitch. I mean, I've pitched on time in Houston, and I get a easy pipe on, and it's a homer. You know what I mean? And I pitch some with outs, and it's like a way deep, and it's just somebody cutting the ball in the outfield. So I feel like it's no matter where you pitch, you got to go out there and get 3 guys out, you know. But I know I'm gonna have a really good hill over here with this ballpark. So.
Bob Wojnowski.
Yeah, Bob Wojnowski, Detroit News. Christopher, over here in the middle. Obviously, this is a big step in the rebuilding process, not the first step, and I don't think it's the last step. How more aggressive can you be with the labor, as previously mentioned, with the labor unrest possibly looming? Can you still be aggressive going forward in this offseason, or do you have to wait until that's settled?
Yeah, you know, I think it's a good question for Al, but I would tell you, Wojo, you know, again, Al's going to have the resources that he needs to go out and accomplish what he thinks, you know, we need to accomplish in the off season. He and I talk about contracts and different contract scenarios quite often, and you know, we've got an open mind to anything is really on the table as it goes regarding that. Having said that, we also want to be make sure that what we do going forward allows the organization sustainable success over the long haul, and so we need to keep that in mind.
Evan Petzold.
Yeah, question for Chris, just to follow up on the last 2 questions here about the shortstop situation. You mentioned sustainability. I mean, how do you feel about a $300 million contract going out? I mean, is that something that you're going to let Al do, or that's going to be a part of the plan, or no?
Well, again, I would.
Why did you just keep it at 300? I mean,
yeah. Again, I would defer to Al in terms of, you know, what he and AJ on field, and Al as our general manager believe our organization needs to accomplish our goals and to execute our plan. Again, the resources are going to be there, and I know Al and AJ and myself are all very aligned on making sure that when we talk about contracts and new contracts through free agency or even trade, that we need to be mindful that our goal is not to be good one time, but to be good over the course of time. And we really are shooting for sustainable success in competitive baseball over time. And so we're going to be mindful of that as we look at contracts going forward.
Thanks, Evan. I think we have a couple questions from the people joining us on Zoom. We'll go first to Cody Stavenhagen.
Yeah, Cody Stavenhagen of The Athletic. Question for Eduardo. Just given where you were at in 2020 when you missed the season after having COVID, how good does it feel to sit up here and know you have a 5-year contract?
I will say it feels really good. I mean, I can't feel more happy than I feel right now that I just signed a contract. My family is here. I will say nothing can feel better than this, you know. And you're talking about the 2020 and this season and this past season, and I feel like I'm glad they had the opportunity to go out there every 5 days and be available to go 30-plus stars this season after everything I've been through with Kobe and all that. So I just feel happy with everything that happened to me right now, you know.
Also a question for AJ. You took this job just a little more than a year ago. What does it mean to see Chris and Al continue to kind of live up to the promise, and now you're up here signing an established pitcher?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, you know, we need to continue to make progress and take leaps forward. I mean, we want to win. And that was said at the beginning of my time here when we sat down for dinner and when they offered me the job. And, you know, it's been constant communication. I think that's one of the things that probably doesn't get talked about a lot is the amount of time that Chris and Al and me and my staff and Al's staff, and we're all trying to get this right. And we need good players to do that. And this is a great step in that direction. When you can, we were at our best last season on a season that was very successful in its own right, but not successful in the standards that we're going to have moving forward. We were good when our pitching was good. When we had good starters, we felt pretty good, and the next day starter, and the next day starter, and the following starter, and you're rolling out Mize and Manning and Skubal, and Tyler stepped up and did his thing. Willie Peralta did his thing. Eduardo's now going to do his thing. Like, that's how you build a winning season. So Eduardo coming, for me, it shows that people outside this club have an understanding of where we're going. Because the people inside this club, we've been saying the same thing internally since the first day that I've been on the job.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Cody. We'll go to Julian McWilliams.
Hey, Eddie, what's going on, man? You obviously spent a lot of years in Boston, and just wanted to, get your thoughts on as you reflect on the years there, and obviously you came into your own there. Just what was that experience like, and as you reflected over the last week or so?
I mean, I will say, and say what up, bro, again. After I play, I feel like I have a really good time with Boston. I mean, really good. Every year that I played there, winning the World Series, which was special for me. Every playoff game, everything I do over there, my teammates, John Farrell, Alex Cora, the managers that I had over there, everybody. But for me, I feel like now it's time to move on, man. Move on and go to the next part of my life, which is what I'm starting to do right now, which is going with the Tigers and start winning championships over here. So that's the way I see it, and that's the way I like to leave it for now. Then.
And was there any thought or really thought for you to when you had to? Was there any thought to go into the qualifying offer? Did you ever really consider that?
Oh, what? Say it again.
Did you really ever consider the qualifying offer that Boston laid out for you?
I mean, do you want to change? I'm going to be honest with you. Do you prefer 18 or 77?
77.
I mean, I'm honest with you.
No, it's 77.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, just thinking about me and my family, man. That's why I be on that part about money. Just thinking for me, my family, my future, my 2 kids. You know what I mean? But another way was just like I know was a lot of teams out there that they wanted me to sign with them, or there was on Instagram, you know, I mean, discussing a contract and all that. But after I talked to Miggy and I started and see what Detroit is all about, I make the choice and decide to sign with them.
Thanks, Julian. We'll take one more for Zoom. We'll go to Alex Spire.
Eduardo, good to see you, man.
Too.
In terms of this contract, were you concerned this season, given that it was kind of up and down and that it was coming off of the lost season last year? Were you surprised at the level of interest that you found in free agency, that a team was willing to go to 5 years? Did you see that coming? And what kind of talks did you have with the Red Sox about how far they might be willing to go, how many years they might be willing to sign you for?
I will say I'm not surprised that the interest in that I have from the teams, and especially for the Tigers, because I mean I go out there every 5 days, you know, and when you go out there every 5 days and do the best you can do, I feel like a lot of teams gonna be looking for you, you know. I mean, and I would tell you guys all the time that it was in Boston. I mean, I just like to go out there every 5 days, pitch, do the best I can for help the team to win the games, you know, and that's what I think is. That's the way I see it. You know, I mean, go out there every 5 days, and you're gonna get people attention. You know, and what was the other part? The last part that you're saying?
You know, the fact that the Tigers did go to 5 years. How far? You know, what sense did you have about how many years the Red Sox were comfortable going to?
I mean, like I say, I was starting the teams that I was interested in me, and I'll come to and talk to me. You know what I mean? And they had the offer. I like it, and I don't feel like I'm gonna wait more longer than that, you know. And they have it. Like I said, I studied the teams that I was interested in me, and the Tigers was the one to decide, and I'm just happy to be here. With respect to the Red Sox, I mean, I don't feel like I don't talk to them at all about like how many years and all that. I know they want me back then, but like I say, it's time for me to move along and start the new part of my life and win the championships here.
And with regards, you know, you talk about your excitement of joining Miggy. How hard was it to talk to Xander about leaving Boston?
I mean, I feel like Xander, Devers, Basky, those are the 3 guys that I've been played my whole career over there, especially Bogey and Basky, because Basky was catching me every 5 days, every time over there, you know what I mean? Those are the 2 guys. Bogey was in shortstop every time. getting mad at me because I throw the wrong pitch or I throw the right pitch. Or sometimes I was getting in the dugout and he told me, wow, how you can paint the backdoor cutter right there, things like that. And that was a perfect pitch, madness, happiness, and everything that I passed with those two guys. It's just different. I feel like they're brothers that you never forget, And I can't wait to go out there and face them next year. See what they can do, because one of the funny things, we're talking a lot together. Basky just told me all the time, I'm going to hit a homer, I'm going to hit a double, and Bogarts too, and I told them all the time, and next year when I face you guys, I'm going to strike you out. So we'll see how that goes this year, next season, But I know I love them, and I feel I know they feel happy for me. They feel happy for what I accomplished now, and I know they want the best for me, and I still want the best for them, and they go out there and bowl, and I strike them out all the time I face them.
Thanks.
Thanks, Alex. We'll take two more from the audience here in Detroit. We'll go first to Matt Shepard.
Eduardo, two-part question for you. You just mentioned Miguel Cabrera. Players want to play with other great players. So Detroit trades for Tucker Barnhart. They bring you on. How can you help recruit additional players here? And what can you teach the young, talented pitching staff of this Tigers team as you embark on your Tigers career?
I will say with the young pitching staff, I will say go out there in spring training and start teaching them what I learned from the older guys, which is play the game the right way. As a pitcher, go out there every 5 days, or reliever, be ready every day, things like that, a lot of things going to come up as soon as we get to spring training, and I'm going to do the best thing I can do to help them, I'm open to any questions you have for me about whatever on baseball part, or even on family ways, or like out of baseball and everything, I'm open to help them and to help everybody that they bring to the table for me to help, That's the way I see it. That's the way I learn. Especially guys like, I learned from guys like Price, Sale, Evaldi, Porcello, guys like that they teach me the right way to do it, and that's the way I'm going to teach young kids to do it,
How about recruiting other players?
I will say that's his part right there. That's his part of doing it. Whoever he brings to the table, like I say, I'm gonna do the best to help it to get better, even if it's a guy that is older than me. I know I learned the way that even the guys that are older than you're still gonna help them. You still, sometimes you sit with them, and sometimes they have questions for you that they don't know, and you help them. Young guys, old guys. I feel that's the way I learn. That's the way it is. And that recruiting part, I feel like it's all on my partner over here. So.
Thank you. Well, basically, by trading for Barnhart and signing Eduardo, that in itself is a recruiting tool, because it shows other players that we're here for real, and we're here trying to win and trying to bring in the best players and build a winning franchise. So just the player movements that we've done so far is a recruiting tool in itself. Not to mention, I think I have the best manager in baseball. That's a great recruiting tool. He's been traveling with me all over the country. So, but anyway, that should answer your question there. But yeah, the players are engaged. Miggy's engaged. He'll call whoever we need to call. I know Eduardo the same way. Players talk to each other all the time, and and they're just, the message is Detroit is a good place to play.
Thanks, Shep. I'll take one more. Mike Stone.
Yeah, Mike Stone, 97, won the ticket. Speaking of other players, AJ, since the photograph of the world's most famous brunch became public a couple of weeks ago, obviously fans are very excited with the possibility. I don't know what you're allowed to say or whatever. Is there interest from Carlos to consider Detroit heavily? And what was this, your breakfast into lunch?
Yeah,
how did that deal?
I had a ham and cheese omelet. I didn't order lunch, so it was only breakfast. And I didn't realize it was as big a deal as it was. He's having a baby, delivering a baby gift. So there's a lot to like about players out there, and we're trying to get better. And so obviously we can't really discuss the specifics on things. I'm going to let people speak for themselves. So if you want to call these guys, you can call whoever we've talked to. But we want winners here. And we want to win, and that's the reason that we're here today and signing this. It's the reason that we made a transaction on the first day of the offseason and getting Tucker Barnhart. There's more conversations to be had. There's a ton of interest in coming to Detroit by a variety of players. And that's because I think people are aware that our trajectory is going in the right direction. So great conversations, not just the one that was photographed. There were some unphotographed ones. You guys can seek those out. Some really good meals Al and I are sharing. You know, the most successful one to date has been the one that's sitting at this table right here signing to help anchor our staff.
Thank you.
That'll wrap up the Q&A portion today. To conclude today's press conference, Chris Ilitch and Avila will make a special presentation to Eduardo.
No, ahí está bien. Sí. ¿Estás seguro? Sí. Ahora sí.
Very nice. Come a little closer. That's great, guys. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm good. But can one more, guys? Oh yeah, AJ, we're gonna have you.
Right here first. 1, 2. 1, 2.
And perfect.
All right, that'll conclude today's press conference. Thanks again for joining us, and hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving.